If you can hear us, we're about to go live, Trey. I have you muted for now. Well, actually, we are live. We're live.
No.
Like, what?
And your audio is present for sure.
That's a beautiful thing.
If you can hear us, we're about to go live,
I'm
Trey.
just
I
happy
have
to
you
be here,
muted
ladies
for
and
now.
gentlemen.
Let's see. Hold on a sec. Well, actually, we are live. There we go.
All right. Let me see.
We're live. Everybody.
There we go. I see it now.
Let me see.
I love it. Luis Mayorga comes in with a quote. He says, "You're either late or you're early. You're never on time." Sam Wilson.
Never. Big facts, though. Big facts.
We're gonna kick this off with. Well, there's two things I'd like to kick it off with. Your. Sorry about that. I apologize. I'd like to kick it off with your feelings, because we heard our feelings in the recent video. I'd like to hear your feelings, and I'd also like to address the comments. Because there's there's some interesting comments.
I can only imagine, man. I didn't get a chance to see your video, so I'm taking this. It's gonna be a fresh hot take.
Yeah. If you could pull
from me.
Pull the comments there as well.
Well,
so you could...
are we ready? Are we ready for Syntell's comments?
Yeah.
I would imagine that this is probably one of those love or hate episodes, is what I'm imagining.
Mm-hmm.
That people that see it are either going to fully get it and be on board and love it, or they're going to be resistant. I think this is like a litmus test kind of episode. Kind of let you know where people stand. For me, I mean, for a lot of obvious reasons, to me, it's my favorite episode. And what's funny about that is that it had the least amount of action out of all of the episodes up to this point. It actually cleared up a lot of things and made things a little bit more poignant that the previous episodes didn't, especially regarding, I guess, being a Black superhero,
Right.
Getting to know the character on a deeper level culturally. Some things that kind of missed the mark, especially like with the first episode with the boat and his sister. I think a lot of that kind of missed the mark because of the tone. I think now that I've seen this past episode, I think it's more of the director didn't hit the mark more so than what they were trying to do. I feel like the tone and the sentiment was missing because I didn't care about his sister. I didn't care about that boat. I didn't care about anything that was going on. But because of the context of what this prior episode is, it cleared that up a lot more and it made it a little bit more heartfelt and made me see what the potential of that episode could have been, but it just didn't for me. Understanding the burden of choice was really big, because regardless of who you are, your actions are still your own. In that conversation that he had with the Black Captain America, there was a real poignant moment. And he was like, "Why would anybody ever want to hold the shield? You know, not only are you not going to be it, but if you could be it, why would you ever do that?" And at that moment, without knowing what the rest of the episode was going to be, I felt that completely. I was like, yeah, I totally get that. And then he had that really good moment where he's like, you can't let anybody else's life reflect what your decisions are going to be. And he said something else that was really big to me. And that was, if I was him and in that position, I probably would have felt the same way. So he at least acknowledged the fact that how he felt was valid. But even though how that man may have been validated in his belief, Sam took it upon himself to take his own path and let him be his own man. You are a Black man in America, and there is a responsibility when you're in the limelight, but you are also your own man as well. So it was just a poignant episode for me all the way around regarding the humanity of the character itself. And then one more kind of thing, because I know I'm chewing up the clock, man. I don't think y'all realize how much I hated the boat thing in episode 1. It was just whack to me. I'm like, what is this? Why do we give a damn about this boat? But then that boat ends up becoming like a place of healing and reconciliation and connecting. And then I got that. Like, I was all about the boat after that.
Yo, man,
go ahead.
I'm going to interrupt you because I'm going to bring Ricky in here.
Oh, we have a special guest today, guys.
Yeah.
We got Raw 2.0.
Oh, yeah.
I just got to figure out how to do that. Let me get rid of this here, and that'll make it easier. And then bring this out more.
I know you over there hustling, boy. You got your, I see your OBS face again, man. Your OBS face always kills me, man. I'll be dying laughing.
No, I'm so excited that we've got Raw 2.0 as well. Do we call him Raw 2.0?
I always call him Raw 2.0.
Call him by his government name.
I always call him Raw 2.0. So let me focus this on Trey.
No, I mean we're about to get real deep because we got into like a bit of a discussion because, and well, it's like a lot of it is the whole race thing, right? Because
right.
Obviously, as non-black people, I feel like there's a certain like limit to our understanding. It's like I can try my best to empathize, I can try my best to sympathize, but I will never fully understand what it is to live a day in, you know, your life, or like what it was like for you growing up or anything like that. And so like it was one thing that we had like this huge conversation about, which I think, you know, a lot of the comments that people were putting in the comment section of our video was, you know, I said I thought it was cool that we had that moment where Bucky apologized to Sam and kind of saying like, hey man, I'm sorry, I didn't understand where you were coming from as a black man and how that might have affected whatever. I'm paraphrasing really badly.
Right.
But I was like, it felt to me like it was really woke. You know, it was like it was a really woke moment. But I thought it was good because I feel like that's a step in the right direction to kind of, you know, be able to acknowledge our ignorance and to be like, okay, how can I be an ally? Basically, you know, like how can I help you move on? But I don't know if we were particularly eloquent at like 1:30 a.m.
I can imagine. Right? Yeah.
So we had a lot of great comments. People kind of like educating us and kind of giving their point of view and stuff. And so I'm super stoked that we have you and we have Ricky here today to be able to kind of offer more perspective.
Soon.
Well, yeah.
We're still waiting on his ass to get in here. But you were saying how you hated that boat thing and how it came full circle, and now I sort of missed the tail end of like how you felt about it. It seemed like it came out more positive for you after it was all said and done.
Oh yeah. So the boat was just a big miss. I think that episode is just the very first one when everything got initialized. It just missed the mark to me. But this one, like I said, it kind of like gave me a better perspective of what that first episode should have been. And the boat is like, it ends up being like the hub. It's the hub of his little small community. It's the hub of the relationship between him and his sister. It ends up becoming like the hub of full understanding with him and Bucky. You know, it's just like this centerpiece, and it's this old, beat up, broken thing. Mm-hmm. And it's taking the community, it's taking his family, his sister, it's taking his newfound friend, Bucky, to repair this broken thing. And that broken thing is like all of them.
Right.
So I got that it totally made sense. And I enjoyed those moments.
Is it also like the system? Is it like some sort of symbolism of, hey, we need to get the community together to try and fix this, and we need to bring our friends and allies? I don't know. I'm probably just reading too much.
I mean, I could see that. I mean, I initially, I'm not gonna lie, I initially didn't even go to that part, but now that you've brought it up, I can see that. Yeah, I think the boat I think it gives you enough leeway for the boat to symbolize whatever it is you need from those characters in that moment. I think it gives that kind of depth. Like the boat ended up being a pivotal piece. It ended up being almost a character.
Yeah.
In a sense, in the story. Yeah.
It's a little interesting because the thing you felt about the boat is sort of what I had always felt about it from the get-go, because I knew where it was going, if that makes any sense. Like, they set it up. It's like Chekhov's gun, you know, like, this has to mean something. And it like, didn't it seem kind of obvious from the get-go that it was going to be that, you know, Bucky was going to help out and they're going to help fix the boat together? Like,
sure, yeah.
I always thought that was going to be a thing.
Yeah.
I didn't think him and Bucky was gonna fix the boat. I thought it was gonna be a lot simpler. I thought it was just more of an issue of just selling it, and then by the end of the series he would have gotten the money somehow, and it had somebody else fix the boat, and they would have just kept it moving. Because I just didn't see the community, that whole thing coming together. I didn't see it as a central place of healing. So no, I missed I guess what was obvious to probably a lot of people. I missed that. I thought it was just going to be just, let's just get the boat fixed and keep it moving.
By the way, Syntell, I apologize if there's anything you've already said that I'm going to have you like retread, just because of
it's all good.
The OBS thing and Zoom and all that.
Just real quick, just because we're talking about the boat right now, Aditya Sharma came in with the boat signified preserving his history. He understood the importance of roots and family history. Yeah, totally.
Yeah, that's what we briefly said, like the family, between the family and his community, and the family with him and his sister. Yeah, it's that bridge, and then you don't want to sell that, right? Especially. You see all the effort that it takes to build it up and to get it back to something that works. You just don't want to sell
it.
That's
Ricky. I can hear you. We can hear you.
Hey, Rod 2.0, we can hear you, but we can't see your face.
There we are.
Oh, my God! Look at that streamer setup, you guys. Okay, he's coming in.
Yeah.
With that purple lighting.
I do like the lighting, though. I do.
That's funny.
Looking good, man.
I didn't want to interrupt the conversation. Y'all were all up in it.
Man. Well, come on in. Jump in the water, man. It feels good in here. We're over here. We ain't even doggy paddling except that cool little breaststroke.
Falcon Winter Soldier.
Stroking through the Falcon.
So good.
Okay, so there was a super chat you just read, Achara, if you want to cover that again.
Oh, we have a lot of super chats, but that was just about the boat.
Okay, I'll go through them one by one, and then I'll give Syntell and Raw 2.0 a chance to respond to these. So, Kuko Chiku says, this episode was all over the place. As soon as something started to take grip, they moved into the next thing.
I mean, definitely a lot happened in this episode, but I didn't really feel like it was all over the place.
What do you think, Ricky? Raw 2.0?
I thought it felt well-paced. I thought it felt more like a Marvel movie, more than WandaVision does. WandaVision is definitely serial, but I think that was what it was going for, and I think this is doing what it's going for, which is fulfilling that promise of an extension of the Marvel movies on a TV show platform, but still that Marvel size level. Like this one was 20 minutes longer than the other ones.
Yeah.
I didn't even peep that.
Is there a way for you to bump your mic, Raw 2.0?
Like this?
Yeah, there we go. That's what we needed.
Oh, you got a whole mix board. I thought you were making music live.
Yeah.
DJ Jaby.
Yeah, there we go. That's much better.
And another one.
Yeah, because Dummy Test says, why in this show it tells the system is broken? I think the problem is system was operating as it was intended to.
Ooh.
What does that mean?
Well, I guess what he's saying is like there's this whole conversation about how the system is broken, right? With
it was racist by design. It was oppressive by design.
That's kind of what he's saying.
It's not broken. That's how it was meant to be.
That's how it was meant to be. So it's kind of like whoa.
So we got to undo.
Yeah.
Well, no matter which way you phrase it, I mean that's semantics. It's like it still needs to be remedied. No matter which way you put it.
If it's a system that's broken, then we need to fix it. And if it's a system that's operating as it was intended to, then we need to dismantle it.
Yeah. Did you guys notice? This is from Aditya Sharma. Did you guys notice Sharon was in touch with Batroc?
I knew she was in touch with someone. We didn't even talk about Sharon.
She was on the phone with someone yelling in French, and I was like, my theory the whole time has been Sharon's the power broker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's playing both sides.
Yeah.
I thought that initially, and then we had some of our very, Marvel super smart people who were kind of like, I don't think that's possible, Achara. But that was my initial thought as well.
That was a noisy ass jacket. Rock 2.0. God damn.
I turned it up. Oh, you know what? I have an idea.
It's not the mic. It's the jacket.
No, we're getting some good ASMR from Raw 2.0. I like it.
No, I like Ricky's. I like Ricky's voice being loud and voluminous.
Yeah.
Like
anything now?
A little bit more. A little bit more. Tiny bit more. Like Kylo Ren.
I hear a hint of snarkiness. I approve of this message.
That would be my banana.
Pranav Bot says, hey, Anthony and Tubby, are you going to do gaming live stream after this? No, we're not. Aditya Sharma, the boat signified preserving. We kind of covered this already, but because Raw 2.0 jumped in here, I'll cover it again. The boat signified preserving his history. He understood the importance of roots and family history.
Yeah. Yeah. Whoa.
Any thoughts about that? It's kind of overt, wasn't it? I think it needed to be.
I mean, it was on the nose, but it was still beautifully done. You could still be on the nose. I mean, the Titanic, we knew it was going to sink, but, you know, it was still a beautiful story. I mean, the boat had to be repaired, but it's still a beautiful story.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah, I think that, to be honest with you, this is one of the few instances where I was fine with it being more overt, because Achara and I, the thing is, they're dropping these episodes at midnight for us. And so I'm like, sometimes I'm not processing everything at 100%. So it being more overt is probably helpful. Like, you're dropping this shit and it's such a late hour. But that's not necessarily the show's fault. It's more my fault that I'm watching it at that time, I suppose.
Yeah.
Vishal Agnihotri says, hey guys, did you also feel like that episode was like a film wrapped into one?
Yeah, Raw 2.0 did.
Yeah, Raw 2.0 just pointed that out. So much happening in one episode. It's trying to be many things at the same time. Hope they deliver in the end. Fingers crossed. So, now you said you felt like it felt like a film, Raw 2.0.
Yeah, I mean, because it's also, I don't know, it's a film, but it's also more like a television series in that we're finally getting this thing. Like, this is something Paris, my girlfriend, and I were worried about earlier, was that, like, we had that great scene with Isaiah a few episodes ago, and we thought, oh no, it's going to be more of this like surface level thing. Like, we're just going to sort of, we were like, are they going to just sort of use Black Bane right now as just like feel bad for him right now, and like, but we'll never get into it. And then we come back here and it's just like character moment. It's just like, slow it down and talk. That's the thing you can't do in a Marvel movie or any movie, really, like in the same way here when you have so many layers.
True.
So yeah, like that's them really using the format to its advantage, and it's just gonna make the movies even stronger because they can do that here. It's insane.
That's true.
Yeah.
I didn't consider that. That's true. That's true. That's a good point. How did you guys feel about the apology?
To hear a white person in a Marvel movie or anything say "black man" like that, like I joke all the time. It's like people that don't know, like that aren't comfortable with black people, say African American, or just all the time they're just African American. Yeah. But like, yeah, Bucky saying, "Steve and I had no idea what it meant giving the shield to a black man." I'm sorry. Wow.
Yeah.
Expand on your feelings, please.
It's hard to, other than to say like that means something. That like that in a big blockbuster project as this, they take the time to stop, acknowledge the past, because this was the thing with fans too. I know, like talking to black people after Endgame, that it was just sort of like Isaiah said, you can't have a black man be Captain America. No self-respecting black person would do it. And it's like Steve and Bucky don't get that. Like it's well intentioned, but they don't get what that means and what that carries. And like, yeah, for them to do this at this point, which like it just sort of works in this story, because this whole thing started out with Bucky being irate with Sam for giving it away and him not getting it. And Sam, like a black person in America, doesn't push him, isn't arguing with him over this. He just knows Bucky needs to arrive at this idea on his own. The most he says to him, like in episode 2, is like, can't you get it through your head that I did what I thought was right? Like, he doesn't go into it because he knows Bucky's not going to get it. He's not going to get it if I tell him. He needs to see it for himself. And Bucky finally now has. Like, he has that moment when he sees the kids playing with the shield. And that's like an interesting moment when you take it in the context after the last episode, where the last time we saw the shield was it covered in blood, murdering someone. And it was all over the news. Everyone saw it. But here it is, clean, and it still means something to these kids, these black kids. And Bucky knows that. And that's when it like clicks in with him. Yeah. It's like, this is what Steve wanted.
Yeah.
We did it a little too fast. We didn't take into consideration what it would have meant, but this is the right thing to do. And it's that apology. Whew. Yes.
What?
Yeah. Does that resonate with you as well, Syntell?
Yeah. I mean, to piggyback on pretty much everything you said, brother. I mean, you hit the nail right on the head. It was just it was that moment. It's like, yo, I don't get it. I know there's layers to it. Please allow me to humble myself for a moment and just give you that space to breathe and be you. And then you process it how you needed to process it. Before this episode, like I said, this was a really good episode that really justified a lot of the earlier episodes that I had problems with. Like, I know I spoke earlier on the show regarding me have a problem with Sam feeling as if he's worthy of the shield. And for me, my whole issue was like, hell yeah, you're worthy of it. You've been worthy of it. Yeah. But what I'm realizing as we're going through this journey is that there's still, even though you're worthy of it, you still might need to walk a path to figure out and get a clearer understanding of this big decision. And him talking to his elder, something that, you know, many of us in our community take to heart, talking to your elders when it comes to big decisions. He talked to an elder who was a version of Captain America, a person who did take the Superstorm and got that perspective. And then you can take it, process it, and do what you want with it and be your own man with that decision. I liked seeing Sam go through that process. Nothing was forced on him. You know, he felt one way about it. He talked to somebody that has more experience about it. He processed it. He took how America felt about it. He processed it, and then he made his own decision. And you can really see a really good example of him bouncing back and forth with what it means to go through this process when he's sharing the shield with the Winter Soldier. Like, as they're throwing it, it's like, now it's your turn. What do you think? He catches it, throws it. Now it's your turn. What do you think? It's like going back and forth. And it's also like going back and forth with kind of like with Roger's legacy as well, and them throwing back and forth the one thing that they both revolve around, that shield, Cap's legacy, all of that. It's just so many layers to the episode, bro. I know we're gonna be here for a minute breaking all this stuff down. But yeah, I don't know if that came full circle.
No, I like that. I thought that was actually, you hit on something there that I didn't even consider, which is like the turn-taking thing of like, okay, now you talk, and they got the shield. I didn't even consider the symbolism there of like, you know, them going rounds like that.
Yeah.
I had to get schooled in the comments on our reaction video before I fully grasped the meaning of that apology.
Well, yeah, because I think, because I brought it up in our discussion because it felt important to me.
Yeah.
But what I realized was, as someone who is like on the outside of that experience, I understood that it was important, but it's like I couldn't really articulate why. Like, it felt emotional, but I'm like, I don't understand. Yeah. But like talking to you guys and like reading the comments and stuff, I'm like, okay, I get it now. Thanks for the education. Thanks for explaining.
Yeah, for me, it's like watching it. It was just sort of, it caught me off guard, and it was like, well, that was kind of clunky. Like, I like the idea of it a lot, and I like what it stands for and what it means, especially talking to you guys, especially reading the comments. It was just like, in the moment, I was like, that felt kind of funky the way it was executed. I almost wish that they just kind of shot it differently, where like, I understand the whole thing with the shield going around and whatnot, but like, give me some close-ups of these guys talking about this thing like this. This is such a poignant thing, what you guys are talking about, but it's not like lingering at all. They just sort of moved past it really fast is what it felt like. You felt like they gave it adequate time?
I was cool with it. Yeah, I was cool with it. I mean, the whole episode had a heavier tone regarding the whole thing. So, I mean, it's not one of those things where Bucky had to just sit there and cut his arm and bleed out an apology.
That would have helped.
They're two grown men. They're two grown superheroes, and you know they had a good moment right then and there.
Sure.
You know, and I think Sam got it. He was like, yeah, all right.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. Thank you. That's what I needed to hear.
Sam being therapy man, you know, Sam is that guy. Like, throughout this series and sort of this episode in particular, we're shown how good Sam is at being a listener.
Yeah.
He can sit there and he can take in what you're hearing. You know, it's not like he can do it back and forth, but it's always sort of in this way where he's helping you express yourself by listening and trying to like just ask the right question. But like, yeah, I don't know if they needed to milk that scene. Like it like I said, this is something they've been building up to, and like Sam has sort of seen Bucky getting closer and closer to this.
Yeah.
And so yeah, like like Syntell said, you don't need to bleed all over everything right there. I'm sorry, my brother.
I would have liked it.
Yeah.
Someone was like, it wouldn't. The only way to make it more obvious is if Sam looked at the camera, and I almost left a comment going, that would have been perfect. Just break the fourth wall.
No, I mean, I think I'm on
exactly.
I'm on board with Syntell and Raw 2.0 on this one. I'm like, it was fine.
How'd you all feel about, just to change gears a little bit? How'd you all feel about the action at the intro, the fight scene?
I mean, it's interesting when you think about the fight at the end of Civil War, because the fight at the end of Civil War sort of represents the same end game, pun, which is that Tony being like, that's my father's shield. That shield doesn't belong to you. That was his.
Yeah.
And the way it's Cap and Bucky trying to stop Tony, and now here we have Bucky and Sam, who should be Cap, trying to stop Cap and get that shield off of him. And the way it's like this 2-on-1 thing, the way they're bouncing him around, like I mean, especially for a cold open, like when that moment draws out and then the title finally comes up, it's just like, wow, this is a movie. That's when it really, like, it felt like a Marvel movie at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they came out the gate swinging, man. Once again, brother, you know they're right on the head, man. It was very was it Civil War when they was fighting each other? Yeah, Civil War. It was very Civil War, man. You just switched it out. You just switched out a couple of people. It had the same type of intensity, those same kind of pauses and moments. And then it's just one of those things where you kind of like, to me, it was like a really good solidifying moment of there's no turning back from his villainy. It's like, you are without a doubt the bad guy. It's bad enough you got blood on the shield, but now after we've had this moment, it's like, yo, you got to turn yourself in. Like, they really try to talk him down, everything, and then it just comes to a head. It did a really good job of having like that good slow boil, and then when it happens, it's just like, go. I'm like, whoop his ass.
Marvel movies do such a better job at being like the Injustice games than DC movies. They get so creative with the fights.
Interesting.
The things they
comparison.
do, like with people in a room.
Yeah. No, that's actually a great way to put it. I never would have made that comparison.
There was a great moment, man, when he tears Sam's wings off. I thought that was great. I was like, that's how you do it. That's how you shake the old Sam. Tear them wings off and do it and make it terrible, And then like later on, they kind of hint to the fact that when his friend shows up and he's like, yo, you want me to fix these wings? He's like, nah, I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm done
with
that.
That guy is a comic book character. Joaquin Torres is the guy who becomes, when Sam becomes Cap, he becomes his Falcon. So that was a big moment there where he walks away with the shield and he's like, keep him.
Yeah.
I like him. I'm glad that he's actually like a proper character, because since I saw Torres in the first episode, I was like, I don't know. I like this guy. Like, he's not doing I just like him. Can we just have more of him? Like, I think he's great. And Aditya Sharma, I mean, you got it. He said Torres will be the next Falcon, I guess. So
we got a couple super chats to acknowledge here.
Got a bunch.
Give me a second here. Let's see. Vaibhav Gupta says, sorry for changing the topic. Achara, you're very sweet and beautiful. Love from India. Mahesh CV says, why did the man throw the butter out the window? Because he wanted to see the butter fly. Dummy test along my super chat when rights were given to when rights were given to African American in 1970s. People in power who made the system did openly said there are many ways to put them in their place.
Right. So that's kind of what he's going back to. Like, the system was created to be oppressive still.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy Mantra says, hello, Saibara. I guess it's all of us. John Walker kind of beat the crap out of Sam and Buck. Why do Marvel portraying Bucky weak as a super soldier? Still don't get it. I mean, you got to create drama, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like, you have to create conflict of some kind. And so if you made Bucky just overpowering, then there would be no fight scene. It's like the fact that Sam can sustain any damage in those fight scenes is unrealistic. So I mean, it's just
but you kind of got to shrug it a little bit, because Sam does have to get in there. He's got to fight.
Well, that's my point.
Yeah.
It's like it's for fun. At the end of the day, it's like these fight scenes are fun because it's in real life. It'd be over in 2 seconds. It wouldn't be going on like that. It's all drama. So
I also, like, for me, I kind of like rationalized that as the Winter Soldier, man, used to fight from a place of rage and hatred and just like out of controlness in a sense, because he's literally out of his mind. So you might get a different fight style. And as he's trying to figure out who this new man is going to be, his fighting technique could possibly change as a result of that. Whereas new Cap, fake Cap, whatever you want to call him, Cap, is also probably fighting from that same space of rage and disappointment or whatever it is that the Winter Soldier used to come from. It's a different type of intensity. So that's how I kind of processed it. I don't know if that holds true to what the writers are feeling, but that's how I processed it as I watched it.
No, I agree with that.
And the interesting thing that's happening in the story too is that like that joke isn't just a joke where Bucky goes, you know, honestly, I don't really think about it because I'm right-handed. Like there's been two moments. One happens in that fight, and the other one was a couple episodes ago when the Dora Milaje came in and his arm fell off, and he was like, I didn't know y'all could do that. Yeah, so now like when you watch that fight, I'm gonna be honest, I've watched this episode 3 times now, the new one. When you watch him fight in the beginning, he is only using like his right arm, probably because he, like he said, he's like right hand dominant, but also like he is shaking up because he knows like one, what sort of the left arm signifies, but also now he's felt that powerlessness, and it like happens in this scene too. He gets knocked back and there's that shot where it's like, you know, like he knows he can't like depend on that, so he fights Walker mostly with his right arm in this fight, which is interesting.
I gotta watch that fight again, because what you're saying is actually very poignant. I gotta watch it again and see that for myself, because I'm gonna be real with you guys. Like when I watched the fight scene, like I was enamored with the idea of the fight because I've been wanting it for so long, and there were certain ideas in there that I enjoyed. But watching it, I started like picking it apart on the fly, going, "Oh no, I wish they." And then I had to like stop myself and go, "Okay, shut that part of your brain off and just go with the emotional part of this, because that's all you've got right now." And so there definitely were some cool ideas in there that I enjoyed a lot. Like I liked Falcon trying to yank Focap with the silly string. He's just trying to yank him along, and Focap's like, "No, we're not having none of this," and pulled him back. Just like there was the dynamic in the fight was cool. It's just that there was some awkward moments that a stunt coordinator I know lovingly calls egg on their face. Like there's a wide shot where Winter Soldier's like pounding on. He's got his hand on the shield, and it's almost like he's pushing on it and not using his other hand, and not guarding himself either. He's leaving himself open for attack, and guess what? He gets attacked. I'm like, well, what did you think was gonna happen when you left yourself open for like 10 seconds? He's gonna punch you in the ribcage. And so there's like little things like that like my brain just sort of struggles with, and I have to actively shut that voice off sometimes. I was just like, when you said Civil War earlier, I'm like, yeah, that was like a dream come true watching that fight scene. And I was hoping for that same level, and I don't know that for me personally, I got it creatively, I got it emotionally, if that makes any sense. I mean, I don't know if anything can compare to that emotionally, but like it came close, you know, because I've been really wanting that. Go ahead.
No, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, brother. Please finish your thought, man. I'm sorry.
No, that was it. Go ahead, man.
I kind of was happy they kind of didn't make that Captain America like all out version of the original Cap, of Steve, because even when we look at Steve's journey, he's grown from his fighting style to where he is in Endgame. I mean, even when they meet head up and they see each other, the older Cap has gone wiser. He knows his moves a little bit more. He's more fluid, and that's why he's able to beat the older version of himself. And that older version of himself has had the super serum for how long? God knows how long, right? He's been fighting in the game for a minute. Whereas new Cap, he just injected himself yesterday. I mean, so his style is going to be sloppy. You know, it's still going to not be as crisp. And I was happy that they kind of did that. It was more coming from places of rage. It was more a fight coming from a base of emotion than tactics per se.
The one thing I want to say before I get back to the super chat is I love the attention to detail when it comes to character stuff within movement, because if you look at the way that Sam handles the shield, it's totally different from the way Captain America handles the shield, because he's a human being. He's not a super soldier. So he has to sort of absorb the shield, as opposed to Captain America takes it and it's almost like nothing happened when the shield comes back into his possession. Whereas Sam is a person, he's a dude, you know, and so he has to sort of absorb it a particular way. He has to catch it with both hands. He's got to do like a ninja flip in order to catch it for some odd reason. Like, I
feel you on that. I'm like, well, I guess you got to flip to catch it. I mean, I don't know.
Maybe that's my buddy. That's my buddy Aaron.
I love it.
That's my buddy Aaron Tony. So any opportunity for him to show his skills, I'm fine with it. It's just like
I thought it was him. I thought I saw his face in one of the shots.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna let it slide.
No, for sure. He's always doubling Anthony Mackie. So Julian T comes in with some strong super chats here. He goes, "Why Sharon would help destroy the GRU? One, she is a flag smasher and infiltrated the power broker to get the location of the serum and uses satellites to help keep Carly ahead of the power broker's agents."
Oh.
Before we move on to the next one, you guys want to say something about that?
An interesting theory. Yeah, but
I think she's just the power broker.
Yeah.
Here's why.
Okay, go. I want to hear this.
Boy got theories.
Okay.
Sharon comes from the history of Peggy.
Right.
Peggy created S.H.I.E.L.D., you know? Like how often in this world, because Marvel doesn't waste a thing. So I'm sure this is sort of part of her character's motivation is that Peggy created S.H.I.E.L.D., this huge thing, and the U.S. government let it go to waste by letting secret Nazis infiltrate it, and then destroyed it, and then nothing, that was it, and then left her on the run. She's been on the run since the end of, I forget which one.
Civil War.
Civil War, probably.
But, like, she's, it's in the name. She's interested in having her own power now, something that other people can't provide, and, like, she's just trying to create this thing for herself. So, like, it felt like, to me, she's playing both sides, like, she's having Carly and the Flag Smashers try and get the super soldier serum, not to help them or make more, but so that it can be destroyed. And yeah, the GRC thing I think is interesting because this is definitely like a sign that Sharon is not. I mean, it goes with the rest of the show. The show is sort of about flawed heroism. So it seems like she, like Zemo, like Carly, like a lot of them are trying to do the right thing, possibly the bad way, but she feels she has no choice left.
Yeah.
All I know is we love to see a woman rise to power. We got Sharon. We got Veep. We got Veep.
Yeah, I called her Veep too, though. That's funny that you said that. I said the same thing. I was like, Veep?
It's Val, you
These
guys.
boots aren't made for walking? I love
Yeah.
well,
Do you want to say something, Syntell, before we go to the next super chat?
No, well, go to the next super chat because it's a whole other gear. It's a whole other
All right.
gear,
So
man.
Julian T again. He follows up with number 2. She is the power broker and the GRU reinstating
the GRC. I think you meant.
Oh, GRC. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry. She is the power broker and the GRC reinstating borders is bad for business. She is working for a third agency that can't take the GRC down directly, so they support flag smashers through the power broker organization.
Oh my God, that's super complicated. What? Let's break this down. So she's a power broker.
Things being complicated is not outside the realm of possibilities when it
Yeah.
comes to the Captain America legacy. So.
And the GRC, reinstating borders, is bad for business. Okay. She's working for a third agency that can't take the agency down directly, so they support the flag smashers through the Power Broker Association. Okay, wow. There's so many theories. That's kind of number 2 and number 3. Are they conflicting or are they supporting each other? I'm a little confused. Someone explain.
Any thoughts? This is outside of my wheelhouse. Like, I'm just confused looking at that. I'm like, all right, cool. Not in my head
I can
along.
see it. It's all random theories. If you're a small time person trying to make a name for yourself, the best way to do it is through chaos. Best way to do it is to hire guerrilla style tactics, hire those out so that you can sneak behind the scenes while the chaos is going on. So I can see that as a tactic.
Yeah.
I think that kind of makes it a little interesting if that theory does stick. It sounds plausible.
Yeah.
like, for all we know, her being in contact with George Valtrock is just sort of her again playing all the angles where she has sent him to work with Carly and help them do this, but he could also be there to keep Carly in line and their people just in case they go too far.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like who knows? She's playing everyone. That's what I feel.
She's tricky.
I'm like, you tricky lady.
Aditya Sharma says Torres will be the next Falcon, I guess.
We covered that.
And then the Ninja, the Sinful One says, for me, this episode had a great build-up, but didn't deliver as well as others because it left us with 2 cliffhangers. I did like to see that there are conflicts with the Flag Smashers, just not just blindly following Carly.
Right. I mean, I wonder if that's going to play into
What does he mean by 2? What does he mean by 2 cliffhangers?
One is the suitcase.
Right.
One is the suitcase.
Yeah.
I was mad that they didn't show what was in the suitcase. I was a little pissed. I'm like,
we know what's in the suitcase.
But I'm like, we're coming back next week. Come on, just show me, just give me a little fucking taste.
It's like Daredevil on Marvel. Like, you gonna make us wait the whole season to see this suit?
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, come on. That's just rude. That's just rude. Come on.
I did like the touch of the suit coming from Wakanda though. I did like that. I don't know if that holds true in the comics. I don't know on that level, but for the TV show, it's coming from Wakanda, it was just great. I was like, yes. Let's go.
Even that sort of ties into their story, and I'm sure we'll get more of that in the TV show about like the way that movie ended and about sharing their resources and helping the global community. Like, look, here they are.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, there was a little. We had like a quick talk about last week, and somebody had said to the fact that we're not. It's like we don't even know if Cap's shield is legally owned because the Wakandans just aren't going to just give up that type of material. More than likely, it was stolen. That's my theory. I think Tony's dad stole that shit. And there was a little bit of a hat tip in this week's episode when they were like, somebody had said something to the fact that we don't even really know if it's like U.S. property per se. And I was like, I knew the motherfucker stole that shit. I was like, it's because it's the whole Killmonger, him sitting in the museum, and then like you have all these things you don't even know the history, and you stole all of this. It's the same thing. It's the same type of empire. It's the same way you do. Smaller nations, you steal their stuff, claim it as your own, and then display its beauty as if you were the one to have discovered it.
Yeah, I mean, that's a common thing throughout the white world, though. I mean, the crown jewels of England belong to India. So,
it's like,
you know what I'm saying?
Hello, colonizers.
Yeah, exactly.
Give us back our stuff.
So, Fabio Faiza Abante, hi guys. I feel like speaking from a minor community perspective, Marvel and Disney Plus delivered a very important message in today's world that needs to be heard by the world. This episode broke barriers and is meta. So I agree with that.
It's they're doing a really great job of just kind of taking these real world things and like weaving them into the story, but not at the risk of like losing the story, I guess. Like they've just kind of woven it into the fabric so well, and it just even having these conversations is so important.
So Rod 2.0, you it seems like you got your finger in the pulse of like internet community conversations much more than I do, ironically. Have you seen any negative feelings about the episode, and if so, what were they?
I haven't generally for this series.
Okay.
But I'll be honest, I don't look for this show because this one's for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck what you guys think. It's like, I'm glad for you white people and everyone else getting this story, but for me, I feel seen. Let me just be seen for a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
okay, I think I'll say at least for like within my job, because when you work at a job, all you guys do is talk about.
Wait,
your audio cut out. Your audio cut out.
Okay.
Your audio cut out.
Okay, there we go.
Okay.
He's back.
I guess the hotkey is the space bar.
No, I don't know.
Interesting. Yeah. But yeah, no, we love it. Working over on Superman and Lois.
Okay, you're allowed to talk about that.
You're allowed to say that? It's like, how dare you, DC person.
That wasn't good. Yo, man, yes, get it, fam. Get it. Yes, sir.
Can I say what you did? The first thing that you did for that show? Can I mention that?
Yeah, because I can't remember. You tell me.
Okay, so the very first thing that Rod 2.0 did for Superman and Lois was he created the opening, to the show. The whole opening, the animation, the whole thing. He made that.
Really?
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah. Rod 2.0.
Oh, what you bad son, boy? I like seeing that. Good. Yes. As you should.
But like, I don't care if I've heard one person say they felt like it was just like really slow and they preferred WandaVision, and like I understand that.
I don't.
So I don't get that.
I don't. How is WandaVision faster than this? WandaVision was 10 times fucking slower. How is?
Don't even get me started. Y'all know how I feel about WandaVision. I'm one of the few people that was like, I was like, it's all right. It's all right.
It's like they spent all this time making a parody fan episode of Dick Van Dyke Show and the Brady Bunch, but like they don't even say it on their own. They don't even say it louder. It's funny.
Yeah.
Them 3 episodes could have been 1 episode. Those first 3 episodes could have been 1 episode. It
felt like bonus features on a DVD.
Yo, I'm glad it's not just me. I'm glad it's not just me.
Yeah.
They're well made.
Yeah.
But they're not Marvel movies like Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree for sure. Yeah. I mean, I really needed. I mean, I'm glad that WandaVision was what it was because it made me even more pumped for Falcon and the Winter Soldier. It's like
I enjoyed WandaVision though.
it was all right.
I
was
liked
all
a lot of
right.
the topics
yeah, it
that
was
they
all
were
right.
bringing up.
I didn't hate it. It was just all right.
It was like delayed gratification for me because I was getting a little bit anxious watching WandaVision. So it's like when Falcon the Winter Soldier finally hit that first episode, that intro episode with the action sequence of the helicopters, I just rewatched that shit. It's fucking amazing. So
how are they doing this?
Yeah, I love that intro. Anyway, before we get lost in the weeds here, I want to acknowledge some of these super chats. Abhishek Ankur says Walker seemed powerful when he takes down both of them. Sam should call in a favor from Hawkeye as his series is coming out and he is fighting Super Soldier Army.
Oh, is that what Hawkeye's doing? Oh,
I don't know.
I love Hawkeye.
I know nothing.
Is it going to be Hawkeye or is it going to be his prodigy? Is that, do we know what's going on with that? I'm not sure. Okay. All right.
It's going to be
I'm a little all over the place.
You mean in the Hawkeye show?
No, he's saying
it's his daughter.
Oh, it's his daughter?
Who has already been cast. I think they're almost done filming. It's Haley Steinfeld.
That is,
okay.
Oh,
so what he's talking about?
Sure.
What he's talking about is one of the funny things about the Marvel Cinematic Universe in general. It's like you got these end of the world consequences about to happen, and you're not calling in any help from any other Avengers. It's a little bit funny.
Tag them in.
You know exactly.
Well, here's the thing. The next episode, we're going to a place where no Avengers are for sure. I'm sure no one is there in New York. We don't got Spider-Man, Doctor Strange, possibly Charlie Cox as Daredevil again.
The sarcasm level was like over 1 million there. It's like over 9,000.
Couldn't be connected to the movie.
Yes.
There's no local heroes in New York at all. It's just like knocking about. No, you're
There's never been
right.
3 Infinity Stones in New York at one time. That wasn't the plot of a movie.
Where's Daredevil hang out these days?
Hell's Kitchen.
Yeah.
Bring
So
us back Luke Cage. What if they just bring Luke Cage back from the Netflix series?
Boy, stop. Boy, you're playing with my nipples. Boy, stop that. What I would give.
Yeah.
Boy.
But Blue.
Hey,
go ahead.
Go ahead. Finish
No, I don't want to lose your thing. I'm gonna come to the super chats after you go ahead.
No, I was just curious as to what everybody's thoughts were regarding the court hearing. It wasn't.
I liked it.
It wasn't a court martial, but when he got fired, when he got the axe.
Yeah.
It was a realistic slap on the wrist.
Yeah. I like that scene. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Ricky.
I've been telling my friends, they're like, "What do you think is gonna happen to John?" I said, it's in his name. John's gonna walk.
Well, I knew he wasn't going to jail. I knew that.
You're not going to jail.
It's like, you killed somebody with cameras watching you in front of the whole world. You a white dude too?
Yeah.
And you Captain America? Oh, you ain't going to jail.
What?
I was like, that's too on the nose right now. That's not gonna happen.
Well,
Yeah, when's the last time you saw a cop go to jail?
Yeah. He technically
the top cop.
I'm just saying.
He technically killed a terrorist.
Cop.
He technically killed a terrorist though, right? So it just wasn't done in a gentleman like
He was
that.
doing his job.
It didn't look good.
Didn't look good.
The guy was unarmed.
Right.
Like-
No, for sure. I'm excited to see his.
I mean, because that never happens, right?
Right.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see his Home Depot Captain America outfit though.
Janky cosplay.
I'm insulted by that janky ass shield. I'm like, what you gonna stop with that? It was like a construction. Some dude in construction with a jackhammer will beat that.
Yeah.
What you gonna run up on with?
But the
with
thing
that
about
The
piece of
shield and the tiki torch. Beat the hell out of you.
when he first showed up with that stuff, I was like, it looked like a horseshoe thing. I'm like, is he gonna be like a cowboy superhero? I can't wait to see this shit.
He's retiring.
Him chucking horseshoes at people and shit.
Well, the way it ended up, it actually looked pretty okay. But in the beginning, I was like, I'm not convinced. What are you doing? Melting down your metals or something?
Like a wish shield.
Captain Home Depot. That's who he is. Captain Home Depot. Bablu says, "Hey Syntell, what is the brand of your wireless headphones?"
These are what are these? Sony MX4s. Yeah.
All right.
Sorry. Yeah.
Okay, Sony MX4.
Well, yeah. I mean, it makes my hair kind of sleek a little bit. No, a little aerodynamic.
Yeah, I got the same headphones as Raw 2.0 there, and it makes my head look funny. So not right now.
Anytime I take it off, when I have this afro, I got like a bridge to Terabithia, just like this flaring French run.
The Ninja the Sinful One says, "I guess there are 3 if you count all of these." What?
3 cliffhangers.
Oh, 3 cliffhangers if you count all of these. The attack starting, the content of the suit, and making of the new shield.
Yeah, that was a lot.
That's not really a cliffhanger, though, is it? I mean,
what, the attack?
Well, I guess the shield is a little bit.
How's that a cliffhanger?
Because he obviously hasn't let go of the mantle. He even walks out of the court here and talking about, "I am Captain America." So I mean, I guess he's got to make the fake shield to do with it too.
Let it go, man. You're delusional. Crazy.
But you have a strong idea of what that is. That's not a cliffhanger to me. It qualifies as a cliffhanger if you don't know what's coming, and it's like, oh, what? Like, what's in the fucking box? I want to see the outfit. It makes me so mad.
I want to see.
And so a dummy test says, haha, Achara's bottle. Oh, the big bottle. Okay. Julian T says, did anyone else have a problem with the CGI face of Falcon during the training montage? I could see the stunt double's face at many points. Also, thumbs up to Sarah and Bucky being a thing. I could see it looked a little janky sometimes. It was like, the thing about it is, how do you do that? Aaron Tony's moving fast as hell, doing his flips and stuff, and they're trying to plaster on Anthony Mackie's face onto that. They don't have the same size head, I imagine. I think Aaron Tony's face is more narrow than Anthony Mackie. I'm not sure.
Yeah, Aaron Tony's got a pretty slim face.
And so I'm like, hey, you're just trying to make it work. I'm not mad at it. So
that's a very expensive process, right? And I do remember reading an article, and they said
they just get the reface
one of the
app.
main reasons why it was only 6 episodes is because of budget. So I'm just assuming that was a unnecessary expense to get that right, or they just being lazy.
They just use the reface app, and then it does what it does.
Better than Luke.
It was better than Luke. At least he was moving, right? At least he was moving around.
Yeah.
Right? Raw 2.0 as opposed to just kind of stationary. Come here, baby Yoda. Gru. What's up, Syntell? Go ahead.
Oh, no, that bad. I was just breathing.
Yeah, I mean, it was hard not to.
I'm a mouth breather at times.
Yeah. It was hard not to notice, the CGI thing with his face. But I wasn't mad at that at all. I just take that as par for the course when you're dealing with a show and not a movie. It's like, if it was for a feature film, you wouldn't have noticed it. More time would have been taken for that. But also, probably there's more constraints with lockdown and trying to get the show out and, COVID and all that stuff. I'm sure that all factors in somehow, some way.
Right.
Yeah. And they can only keep pushing these shows so much.
Yeah.
We got an example of that in this one. I don't know if you heard about it, but the producers talked about it yesterday where Julia Louis-Dreyfus' appearance in this wasn't supposed to be her first appearance. Her first appearance is Black Widow.
Yeah.
Oh shit. Okay.
She's in the film.
Yeah, I had seen that mentioned in the comments.
Okay.
And also on that note, the Ninja, the Sinful One said, did anyone else catch that the woman who appeared offering her card was the teacher in the Red Room from Black Widow? Like, wow, you must have done some deep diving in the trailer to know that.
I totally missed that one. Yeah.
I think that with regards to, just to finish this off before I forget, with regards to the flip in his face being plastered on, I think that often what Marvel's doing is going, how much is this really going to impact the show to not have this be perfect, to have it be a little bit janky? Can we get away with that? We can get away with that. Let's move on to the next thing. I feel like they're constantly measuring things like that because they're very budget conscious, if that makes any sense.
That's usually how it goes. We actually have someone from the Marvel Netflix shows, our visual effects producer on Superman and Lois, and getting to see how that process come over here is it's wonderful.
That's awesome.
All right, so we got some comments here. Let me see if I can make it more apparent. All right, there we go. So this is a comment that I had pinned. I thought it was really interesting, and I think Syntell, both of you guys will probably have something to say about this. This is from RMO85. He says, "You'd be surprised what us black folks don't do because we feel like we shouldn't. Not just because what white people would think, but our own community. I remember as a kid I wanted to play hockey because I was really good at skating, and I was constantly teased by my cousins about there not being any black NHL players, which I knew wasn't true. Then I remember going to a hockey game with my buddy who played hockey and not seeing any black players on either team and felt like my cousins were right. It's not that race matters, but not everyone wants to be the trailblazer and have all eyes on them being the first anything. I understand why Sam would be scared to take up the mantle because America can be fickle when it comes to matters like that." I thought that was thorough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's this thing where America in general just sees black people as just this monolith of whatever they see on television is supposed to be our cultural truth, and it's bullshit. There's a lot of different facets, a lot of different avenues, a lot of different spaces that we exist in. So when you are black in America, and now keep in mind, I always say this is my perspective because I am not the voice of all black Americans. So let me start off by saying that it's my perspective.
All right.
So many times from the life that I've lived and the life that my friends live, when you do try to take that step outside of what that box is that people put you into, it's deep waters. It's deep waters within yourself. I'm like, damn, am I supposed to be doing this? You know, am I going to get any help? Who's going to understand? Because I'm supposed to fit this particular type of narrative. And so, yeah, I can see that in this. I can see Sam kind of struggling with that as well. Because how do you navigate being the first Captain America? You know, you're representing something that may not even want to be represented by you in the first place. That's a lot to that's a lot to process. That's one of the reasons why I like this episode so much, because it shows the process.
Yeah. It's like you said too, like you said, this is just my perspective. That's the thing Sam's got to deal with too. Steve represented all white people in a way that Sam cannot represent all black people.
Right.
It is too different. Everyone's got a different experience, and that's definitely I think something that weighs heavy on him. Something else I appreciate about the way they handle Sam's character, and I know this has to do with I'm forgetting his name right now. Why am I farting?
What?
The actor who plays Sam.
Anthony Mackie.
Anthony
I
Mackie.
just want to say Aaron Toney because it sort of sounds like Anthony Mackie. Anthony Mackie is this character for the most part. Like, he lives in Louisiana. He spends most of his time during the days building houses and doing construction work. He's like part of a community, and I know this is important to him to see a big project, especially like in a Marvel thing, show the South in any kind of positive light. That you don't get that often.
Right.
And so he's getting to do a lot there, but I'm sure within his character, that's a nervous thing. I'm just this down to earth Southern kid who's got, I'm not from World War II. I don't fly with Thor, And then he's talking to Isaiah. I'm not Isaiah. I don't know anything about that. His relation to sort of the Tuskegee experiment, and just, I don't have that history like Steve did. So I don't know how to, I don't think it's ever been he doesn't think he's worthy. I think it's always been he doesn't know how to carry it. How do I do this?
Yeah. That's an interesting thing, because I'm very curious about your feelings about that, Syntell, because you were coming at it going what's wrong with him? He is worthy, and you were really frustrated with his perspective on the matter through the first 4 episodes.
Yeah. And as I said earlier, I was like, this episode right here cleared up. I needed more clarification of what the whole process was in the earlier episodes, and this episode did that for me, because I did have a problem with it. Because I'm like, it felt to me, I'm like, you're coming across as you're not worthy. And I'm like, you are absolutely worthy. You know what you did to sacrifice to do this? And that's how it felt. But when we got this episode, and once again, it's the process. It's him talking to his elders. It's him talking to his friend. It's him talking to his sister. It's the fulcrum of the boat, bringing everything together to help with that decision. And then you realize it's oh, he's really processing this. He's really trying to figure out how to do this. How, instead of it being a worthy thing, because I'm sorry, like you just said earlier, you do realize that he does know that he's worthy now in this episode. But those first 3 or 4, I was mad frustrated, because that is not what I got from the show. To me, it just looked like I'm not worthy. It needs to be in the museum. And there was like a little bit of a fear in that. And then when they took it out the museum and gave it to somebody else, he was shocked. And I'm like, well, you know, it was just frustrating. So I needed this episode. This episode lifted the tide of all the other episodes a tremendous amount for me for the whole overall series. That's how important this episode was for me.
I got a dumb, controversial question, and I you know me, Syntell, like I'm always asking questions because I want to know stuff. Is the boat, is at all supposed to be symbolic of African American history?
I think so. I'm gonna be honest. Does Marvel have some sort of hard-on for the ship of Theseus? Because like we just had that moment with Vision and White Vision and like this boat thing, and there's, you know, the idea of like once an object has had all of its components replaced, does it remain fundamentally the same object? And like it felt like that, you know?
Okay.
You know?
I'm all right. I'm with you on that. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and what I think I don't even necessarily, I wouldn't say it's all of Black history, but it's definitely the history of Sam and his family and his community, which is Black history. It is a piece of Black history. Like I said, we're not a monolith. So it is definitely represents his community. It represents his family. So in terms of that type of history, yeah, I think it does.
Yeah. You understand what I was asking, right, Syntell?
Does it represent all of Black history
as a whole
in context?
No. Well, the whole thing with it, like going further back, like way further back. This is making me uncomfortable. You guys can tell.
Slave ships.
Yeah, exactly.
Man, you can say slave ships. There's nothing wrong with saying slave ships.
African American.
So
it's just like it's tricky to walk these when you're on an internet and you know people are watching you and shit, and so it's hard to know how to say shit. You know, it's different than when you're in a private room by yourself talking to friends and whatnot. You're less comfortable on the internet.
Ain't nothing wrong with saying slave ships, man.
Yeah. It's like
It happened.
yeah, exactly. But you know,
it's a fact of the world.
To even suggest such an idea is what makes me slightly uncomfortable. It's like, does that in any way represent the slave ship? Because he's like, we shouldn't forget our history. Is the whole thing, as opposed to just sort of like shunning it and trying not to think about it. Do you see what I'm saying?
I gotta be honest. I didn't think slave ship. That didn't pop up on my cultural Jeopardy for this particular episode.
I mean, if it did, it would have been more of a thing where they're like, we gotta sell this thing.
Yeah.
We need to reclaim this.
Yeah, I know. I mean,
I'm not reclaiming my time.
He takes the paint off and it says Amistad underneath the paint. Then I'd have been like, oh, wow, you hit the nail right on the head.
So how do you well, you come from the South, Syntell, so how do you feel about how they represented the South?
It was good enough in terms of how it looked.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I wouldn't say it was like bursting at the seams of Southern Black culture per se.
Yeah.
Sure.
You know, it's just like when they went to Baltimore. It wasn't bursting at the seams of Baltimore culture. You were in the city. You know that there's Black people there, but it wasn't like an in-depth look.
They did a little bit. They did a little bit.
The Wire, if you want that.
Yeah.
That's my home.
Yeah, they did a little bit better than Wonder Woman 1984, is what you're saying.
Yeah, Wonder Woman 1984 was insulting. You're in Washington, D.C., and there's not nan Black person anywhere. And there's like half of D.C. is Black. That was insulting.
Yeah.
I'm with you on that, yeah.
Yeah.
But this wasn't that. This wasn't that kind of move.
Gotcha. And so let me catch up on some of these super chats real quick. Kartik Sharma says, wait, did I read this or what? This Red Room thing? Did we read that already?
We did, yeah.
Okay. So Kartik Sharma says, does the actor playing the new Captain America and his actual father, the only father-son actors to have both appeared in the MCU?
That was a good catch.
Trying to think.
Yeah.
Because Kurt Russell is Ego.
Baby?
Yeah, he played Ego in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh,
He looks just like him in some of these shots too.
Yeah.
He's got that chin.
Hey Ricky,
Yeah.
turn your mic up a smidge.
Face. His face in that mask just doesn't work. He looks funny in that mask, man.
Let me hear you. Ricky?
What'd you say?
I said turn your mic up a smidge.
Oh, turn my mic up.
Yeah, because like between you and Syntell, I'm constantly lowering and increasing the volume.
Oh, let me back up, man.
No. I like it. I like you more voluminous. What happened?
Okay, I was just gonna leave the door open for you.
Okay. Oh, that's much better. So, Dummy Test says, I get. So outside of Kurt Russell and what's his name, Wyatt Russell?
Wyatt, yeah.
I can't think of any other father-son actors that are part of the MCU. I think that's it.
No, I can't think of any.
Dummy Test says, I get the show is trying to set up Carly as an as a sympathetic character who fights for people, but every time I hear her speak, I want to punch her face.
Okay, back to the other one real quick.
Yeah, go
I
for
did
it.
remember one.
Who?
Black Panther. The actor who plays T'Chaka,
Okay.
T'Challa's father, his son plays the young version of him in the flashback in the beginning.
Oh,
whoa,
for
okay.
real?
I didn't peep that either.
Oh, that was some
Alright.
fun Marvel
Not bad.
trivia for
Yes.
us. Cool.
Yes.
Ah.
There you go.
Alright,
Makes
there we
sense.
go. There we go. Take that.
Back to Carly.
Kartik Sharma.
All right, so Carly, yeah, I actually, this is the first episode where I liked Carly. That's the funniest thing, Dummy Tess saying this, because like all the other episodes, she was like passable. Like give her, it was like I take it or leave it. For me personally, I was just like, you got a British accent. That's what you got going for you. That's about it. That's where it stops. Because I'm not moved by anything she's saying up until this episode where I'm like, okay, she's got emotion. Like there's actually something there. She's a human being, well, a superhuman being, but still. So like she actually had some kind of reaction to stuff going on, and like even at the end when you saw that she was like setting up this battle, like there was something menacing going on in her face. I'm like, okay, there's something finally happening that is called an emotion. I wasn't feeling any of that before, but maybe I need to watch it again. What did you guys feel? Well, I know what Syntell feels. He feels like she's like a puppy dog.
Yeah, I mean, she's adorable, so it's hard for me to see her as a threat. I think the casting was just a little wonky for that.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's my whole piece. And even still on this episode as well. Every time she gets on scene, I'm like, ah.
I mean, I wonder almost if that's on purpose, because she's just like, she's just a kid. She doesn't. She's vaguely an idealist, even.
Yeah.
Like she's not like. She's not a terrorist. Sam sort of sees this. You're not a bad person. I know what you want, but like, we've seen flecks of the super soldier serum changing her and like making her violent, blowing up that building, just like her carelessness with human life is coming through. And I think we're gonna have a turning point. There's gonna be a moment where in the next episode where we have this three-way battle, because John Walker's not coming back for Sam and Bucky. He's coming for Carly.
Right.
He knows in that scene when he goes to talk to his partner Battlestar's family, he knows the truth that the guy he killed wasn't the guy that killed him. So he's going for Carly. And Sam's gonna have to save her. And that'll change things for her. But she's definitely a puppy dog, but I feel like it's on purpose. I don't know.
I think I agree with you. I think it's just kind of like it kind of puts you on the back foot a little bit, because you're like, wait, but you look really sweet, and just like her whole demeanor is she just comes across as like just a sweet person, and you get that sense of idealism that you're saying. But it's like, yeah, when idealists become radicalized, they're very dangerous because they're very idealistic.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they can't see another way. It's just like, it's this thing.
Y'all know that. Oh, go ahead, Syntell. I can see you want to say something, man.
Oh, well, I was just wondering, like, is there a comparison with her and Cap in regards if they've lost everything that has held them to reality or kept them grounded in humanity? Like, she's lost all of her friends now. Like, the last one just passed, right, when Cap killed him. So now it's just like subordinates per se, or people that maybe not necessarily had to walk the path hand in hand with her. So that disconnection there's like a disconnect with the rest of the world. Same was going on with Cap. His best friend just got killed, and
you're talking about
I guess
Cap.
he still has a connection with his wife. His wife is still there.
You talking about Faux Cap?
Yeah.
Faux Cap.
John Walker.
John Walker.
Yeah,
Johnny
Walker.
Walker. Yeah,
Walker.
gotcha.
With Walker.
Yeah.
And then you add that serum in your brain, and
she's still got a pal.
Humanity.
She still has a pal. She's got that Asian dude with the hair. That long ass.
We're gonna call him the hair.
Yeah, that dude, that actor's been wearing that style for a long time. He was in a show called Chronicle. Was it
Shannara
Chronicles?
Yeah.
Yeah, and he played a similar kind of guy in that show too. So anyway, Rishab Gupta says, I want a 1 hour loop of Achara saying "Acha, nay, 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 nay," like she did in Tanmay Bot simping video.
Acha, nahi, nahi, nahi.
What did the Ninja Sinful One say? I can't see it.
They said, I just re-verified it. In Age of Ultron, during Black Widow's flashback, you see the same woman walk up next to her. Oh, wow. That was wow.
She's involved with the Black Widow project in the comics. There's also some other wilds. I don't know if they're gonna use this, but this is sort of the great thing about Marvel comics because they sort of take what they want and then do whatever they can to make it fresh. But like in the comics, she has a relationship with Nick Fury.
Valentina, right?
Time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Veep. And then she eventually gets revealed to be Madame Hydra. She's like a sleeper Russian agent.
Oh shit!
So it'll be interesting to see what they decide to do with her.
We got a comment here that I thought both of you might have thoughts on. Flower says, fun fact, the story Isaiah told about saving those soldiers is the same thing that Steve did in the first Captain America movie. The only difference is that Steve was praised for his heroics while Isaiah was put in jail.
That's what I said too.
Yeah.
But then there was some
thing. Just like Sam, like he jumps without a parachute and everything too.
Right. That's true. But what's the real life correlation here? Do you guys want to mention anything about that? Or do we leave that alone?
I think it's just a reference to Captain America.
Yeah. That's true.
The real life correlation is didn't no one make it out. we didn't have Isaiah.
Right.
No.
Right. I was kind of hoping, I was low-key hoping that there was going to be some action with Isaiah. I know it's not going to happen, but I just kind of wanted a little. They set it up with him throwing the thing in the wall.
Tin through the wall.
Yeah, I mean, he still got it in him. Yeah. I mean, he's still syruped up. So
he looks
you come in here talking crazy if you want to.
Yeah.
I kind of wonder if his son has got a little in him.
Okay, so in the comic, maybe you may know about this more than me. They had like a quick small series telling Isaiah's story, right?
Yeah,
and,
I didn't read it, and I feel bad.
Yeah, like his son does have a part, something, and I think you might have hit the nail right on the head regarding like it passed on to his son in some regards. So I'm sure the chat will probably correct me, but that would be cool. That'd be fun.
They're setting up young Avengers all over the place. Like, we were talking about like Hawkeye. We got her coming. Miss Marvel's coming. We got Sam's guy Torres. We possibly got Isaiah's son. Yeah. We're setting up the next generation.
I mean, and they're giving him a lot of screen time too, so that could validate that as well. Like a lot, considering that they didn't really have to give him that much.
Yeah.
So
they had Isaiah. They had Isaiah planting flowers and shit, dude. I wanted to see him.
Samurai's Garden too, man.
I know, but I wanted to see him punching some 2x4s and stuff, or something. Like I just wanted to see him do some damage.
Isaiah did what he needed to do, which was call Steve the Great White Hope.
Right. That
was beautiful.
Let me see.
Yo, the pain in his eyes. That actor, whoever that actor is, man, he really did a good job, man, because I felt that, man. He was like, when he was talking about they experimented on me for 30 years, and you could see that pain, and him talking about that, letting go of his wife and holding him. Like, yo, I mean, it was a couple of times I was like, I got to look away from the screen for a moment, get myself right, and then like keep it going again. Yeah.
Have you ever seen the classic, infamous Disney Channel original movie, The Color of Friendship?
No.
Ah! Well, it's on Disney Plus. Go watch it. He's in it. He plays the father. It was directed by one of my friend's fathers, Christiana Hooks, her father, Kevin Hooks. And it is about this black family and this black senator whose family hosts a white South African girl. But they don't know like she's white. And it's like during like when apartheid is happening and stuff. And it's incredible. It's also the only time probably it'll ever happen in a Disney movie that they use the N-word.
What?
And it is to
they
great
didn't do
effect.
it. Word? I thought they did it in the Song of the South, but I might be wrong. I'm probably reaching on that. Which I want to remake, man. I want the Song of the South to be turned into a horror movie by
give it to Jordan Peele.
So bad. Yes. The Song of the South remake. So bad, man. That's on my bucket list.
So so some super chats came in. The Ninja's the Sinful One says, do you think Marvel would have Steve Rogers show up to squash any negative views of Sam as the new Captain America at the end of this show? What? Do you think Marvel would have Steve Rogers? I'm confused.
People, that would betray the whole idea. It's like that Sam's not standing on his own, that he needs someone to do that.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I don't.
No, I think that would. Okay, so So Steve Rogers is still alive, presumably then.
So this is a great conversation I've had with people. No?
Yeah.
Question mark, upside down. But like, yes, he's supposed to be. But the way they talk about him in the show is as if he passed away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
So confused.
Well, I
Yeah.
mean,
like Bucky's like, I miss him, but like, drive upstate. Isn't he?
This is probably
As hard
in
as he's
like
gonna get away from you, he's really old.
he's at a nursing home for superheroes somewhere.
I mean, you saw what Isaiah did, you know.
Yeah.
I would love to see a spin-off show of Isaiah and Captain America, like just taking on baddies and shit. Two old fogies like fighting. I would love to see that, dude.
Remix of The Odd Couple.
Yeah. Just mad at each other. Julian T, for Bucky, that shield represents Steve. Walker, that shield represents America. Falcon, that shield represents hope and oppression. A hope to overcome oppression.
Yeah. I mean, those are all really great points, Julian.
Julian, by the way, is owner of this couch cushion right here.
Yeah. He's, you know how like when people donate a bunch of money and like this park bench is owned by
the placard.
so and so.
Yeah, exactly. He owns this. He owns this couch cushion here.
Julian's couch cushion.
Yeah, Julian's couch cushion. That's what I call it. You want to sleep against the Julian? So dummy test. Then also, I don't want Carly to survive. She did kill Lamar in cold blood. He's not dead. And tried to kill Cap, so Cap deserves revenge. Right? He's not dead, right?
He is dead, isn't he?
I thought someone said that he.
Cap ain't dead.
In the
When
comic,
did he die?
Dead. Cap is alive at the end of Endgame.
No.
He hands the shields off and walks off.
No,
No,
we're
Lamar.
talking about
Just dips.
Lamar.
Lamar.
We're talking about Battlestar Galactica right now.
Is he dead?
Lamar. In this show, he's
Yeah.
dead, no?
Well, because something happened in that conflict with the three of them where, or maybe Anthony Mackie was just clarifying that that dude didn't kill Lamar. It was
Carly.
It was Carly. Maybe that's what he was saying.
Yeah, he killed a guy that,
I mean, John Walker went to his family.
yeah. Unless
He
they,
did.
He gone.
unless like, because I think
it could be the next Bucky. He's being experimented on and whatnot.
No, because I think people were saying that in the comments, like in the comics, he's not dead. He just has a spinal injury. However, it seems that in the show, he's dead. Unless like they've done some weird spiriting away thing where they're like, here's a different corpse. Meanwhile, we've taken your son and we're going to like fix him up and make him into a superhero.
It wouldn't be the first time. That's all I'm
So-
saying. It wouldn't be the first time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I love that Battlestar is black because it plays into this sort of like the white supremacy storyline for John Walker. So like, because it'll challenge certain audience members to go, how can John Walker be racist if his best friend and partner is black? I wish you would. This show is doing a lot.
I got black friends.
I got him killed. But he was my black.
I got him killed.
Damn. Trevor Denley has been saying this just in the regular chat because I know we've been trying to catch up on a lot of our super chats. I'm sorry, just the regular chat to leave you guys feeling neglected. But Trevor Denley has been saying this since the beginning, and I wanted to ask you guys. He says, do you guys think if Falcon and Bucky had been more willing to team up with John Walker, John would have ended up on a better path, or do you think he was doomed either way? I think that's an interesting question.
He was doomed. He laid it bare in the Senate when he's like, "You made me. I did what you told me to do." He is the emblematic problem with white supremacy. He feels he's taken all these great things he's done and turned it into entitlement. I am owed this. It's the biggest difference between him and Steve. When Steve introduces himself to anyone in the room in any of the movies, I'm Steve.
Yep.
When he introduces himself, from the minute he gets off that stage at the press conference in the first episode, I'm Captain America. Every time. He has no identity outside of that. He cannot stand to be inferior or less than in appearance to anyone else. Dora Milaje, they weren't even super soldiers. That's the scene before he takes the super soldier serum, after he gets his ass handed to him by a bunch of black women. It's all connected.
But like, I do wonder though, because I'm inclined to agree with you, Ra 2.0. However, I wonder if they had taken John Walker under his wing, under their collective wing, could they have, maybe helped to guide him? The optimistic part of me goes maybe, but the realistic part goes, like you said, yeah, he's got all that stuff. He's not gonna listen.
I think Sam could have, but it definitely would have been hard just because of his experience in the world, in the military. His ideals were all there. It's like the German scientist said in the first Captain America to Steve. It just makes you more of who you are.
Yeah.
So yeah, like definitely there was a point where he could have been saved, but it was way before Sam could have been there. At this point, John Walker's already gone through life. He's established his worldview.
Right.
They would have had to go to high school together.
Too late.
You should have come to the function. Should have invited him to the cookout.
So off of what did we already talk about this? Off of what Dummy Test said, I don't want Carly to survive. She killed Lamar. Like, did we address what he said?
Gonna make it.
I
don't think she's gonna make it.
You don't think she's gonna make it?
Nah, I don't think she's gonna make it because she has to be innocence lost to me, from the storytelling side.
Right.
Because she looks innocent. She came from an innocent beginning, and then she got corrupted. And then I think if you want to stick the landing, she has to die.
Let's see. So Dushyant Neo says, "Hey guys, what are your thoughts on whether Bucky should come clean to Nakajima about his son's death or not?" That I have mixed feelings about.
I think that.
Okay, but what in an ideal world, what would happen? If let's set aside what's going to happen in the show. What would happen in real life, in your opinion, both of you? Because to me, I don't think he should say anything about it.
Well,
I don't think he should come clean about the truth.
I think that's the thing that. Oh, sorry. Just real quick. I mean, I think that's the thing that Sam was saying in that scene where he was like, "You got to do the work," and the work involves doing the hard thing. And he's like, how can you be of service to someone else?
Yep.
And for Nakajima, it's not having that closure of knowing what happened to his son. And so he can finally give him the play-by-play of his son's final moments. Is it going to be easy? No, it's going to be hard as hell because it's not nice what happened to him. But at least he can say, like, this is what happened to your son.
Does he have to say it was him? Does he have to
That's part of the healing.
Because the thing about it is, as an old guy, he probably doesn't have many friends. Like, he could be his buddy,
I know.
It's like Sushi and the Winter Soldier. Like, it could be a nice, you know what I'm saying?
I think it'll be a nice. I mean, if they do it, I think it'll be a nice moment that mirrors again, like this show does so often, Civil War, because that's a whole thing. Like, the relationship between Steve and Tony and Bucky, that, like, the truth finally comes out that, like, Bucky was the one that killed Tony's parents, and it's
right.
How do we move forward from this? Like, and it's not about doing it in a way that makes sure Tony will forgive Bucky. It's not about that. It's just the truth is the truth. It needs to whatever comes out, and it helped Tony. It broke up the Avengers, but it helped. So it was important that it happened. So I think it'll play out sort of like that. I think he understands now. He just gotta say the right thing. I mean, the whole Captain America thing has sort of been tied to truth too. Like Winter Soldier, like we've been talking about systems being broken and needing to destroy them, whatever. Like that's all of Winter Soldier. That's all like Shield. Nick Fury having ownership of this thing that's gotten out of control, and like this thing just needs to come down. All of it. There's no Cap has to keep saying, nope, we can't save it. But yeah, just. This is a very clear storyline that they've carried through from Captain America all the way through. So I feel like it has to play out. It'll play out like it has in the past.
How did you do that? You're in the middle of chatting with us, and you said LOL in the fucking chat.
He's an octopus.
I got that Elon Musk thing on my skull.
So, what do you think that Asian girl that Bucky went on a date with? What's going to be her role in the MCU? Like
nothing, because Bucky's gonna go talk to Sarah. Holler at her.
Yeah.
And it's only gonna add to the buddy cop thing. You can't be talking to my sister. Just like in Lethal Weapon, you can't be talking to my daughter. It's gonna be that. It's gonna be that thing. You can see that unfolding.
Yeah.
I am curious to fall back to that question regarding forgiveness. I am curious as to how Bucky atones, because Sam said it's not just being of service. You have to make it so that they're right. You're not doing it so that you feel good about saying thank you. So I'm curious as how the writers are going to make that happen, because I don't think the guy's going to forgive him.
No.
And then Bucky probably has to live with that and then still be of service, to not be forgiven and then still be of service. So what does that look like? I'm waiting to see.
Right.
Dude's going to shut the door in his face. Like, it's going to be horrible. It's going to be a fucked up ending for that relationship, which makes me sad because, you know, a lot of old people probably die sooner than they would otherwise because they're lonely.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like he's actually got a friend, and I'd rather see him continue to be his friend with this lie, with this like confusion about what happened to his son. At least he's got a pal to the end, someone to hold his hand as he goes into the next plane, as opposed to dying sad. Like,
well, it's like, what do you do? Keep up the white lie, or tell the brutal truth? I
mean, no, but what Ricky's saying is right though, because this is always about coming clean,
right?
And like ultimately, that's a theme throughout the show, and I get that. Yeah. I just don't like it. Like, I'd rather see
Black Panther, T'Chaka talking to T'Challa. He says the line which is so great. It was the lie I chose to, or the truth I chose to admit.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
We've been hammered home in Marvel movies about the importance of truth and like hiding it because you think it will better the future. It always comes back. Everything comes back.
It's ironic coming from a certain company. But anyway, the Sinful One. I wasn't trying to say Sam wouldn't stand on his own. Just trying to see if the public wanted to hear Steve's confirmation since the shield was passed on screen for us, but not announced to the public.
I think the public thinks Steve is dead, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's announced to the public that he's dead, so him coming back, they're going to have more questions besides who got the shield now. Like, are you zombie Steve?
I mean, it wouldn't be the weirdest shit.
I don't think the world's supposed to know he time traveled.
It wouldn't be the weirdest shit, though. Honestly, I mean, aliens attacked the Earth. It wouldn't be the weirdest thing to happen that Steve came back for a hot second and be like, no, he's good. Then bounced out.
Well, I mean, it's going to be odd when you see like an 80-year-old man standing up and the last time you looked around, he was in his like early 30s. That's going to be a little jarring.
Yeah. It also like, I mean, my mind immediately goes.
New York City got attacked by aliens. Nothing is weird at this point, dude.
It's like, I don't think we needed in Obama's first term for Bush to come in and go, he's good.
Yeah. John McCain did that for him, though. You remember that? That's like the hero moment for John McCain that always gets passed around to let us know why Trump is terrible. You know what moment I'm talking about, Syntell?
You talking about the one with the old lady said some racist shit and he defended Obama and said he was a good guy?
Yeah.
That's not true. You talking about that moment?
Yeah. See?
Yeah.
That's putting in the work.
Yeah, we could have Captain America come back. I'm just joking. Okay. Anyway, moving on. Dummy test. So what am I the owner of? There's a hat over there. It's a Black Panther hat. That's what you own, dude. The Ninja Sinful One. I don't know what the last thing he said was. It's not showing up here. It's green.
Oh.
Yeah.
I can't see it now. I thought you had it.
No.
Sorry.
Okay, here it is.
Right there.
I say this based on the fact that the moment Sam gave up the shield, they passed it to someone else.
Yeah.
Right.
They have to have their symbol.
They got a what?
Yeah. They have to have their symbol. You can't retire. It's like retiring America.
Yeah.
Somebody's got to pick up the mantle.
It's the way the whole thing started out. Like Captain America was propaganda.
Right.
That's true.
Yeah.
We're not gonna stop this train.
That's true.
We need a Mr. Peanut.
Right. That's wow.
I don't know why I chose Mr. Peanut.
I was like, wait.
Hey man, you think they're gonna bring back another HBCU band when they do finally swear Sam in? Because I mean that was an HBCU band when they brought Walker in, which is like, that's a little much.
He's got black friends. Look at them.
That's what I was thinking.
Morris Brown.
Like, wow, y'all really got an HBCU band back there. All right, okay, all right. Historically Black College University for our guests who don't know what HBCU is. It's a place where a lot of black folks go to school.
Can you expand on what you're feeling there, what you're talking about?
All right, so I went, to also be more clear, I went to an HBCU. I went to Morehouse in Atlanta, Georgia. And HBCU stands for Historically Black College University. And in our American history, it was difficult for Black people to go to school, so we came up with our own institutions so that we can become educated. One of the things that stands out with HBCUs is the culture, and a big part of the culture when you go to HBCUs are the bands. The bands actually get more attention than the football team that you typically go to go see, and the band plays all kind of relative songs and beats during halftime of these football games. And you have these individuals called drum majors that kind of like keep the tempo and the beat of the band and can measure, the tempo of the audience. And it's just a full-blown explosion of cultural representation. And in this project, Falcon and Winter Soldier, when they brought in Walker, you saw an all-Black band, and you could see like some of the drum major kind of moves. It's real. It's just some Black shit. So you got this dude who's overly Captain America getting brought in by an HBCU band. It's just like we're really trying to cater to be like, look, he's all right. He's got Black friends. He's got a soulful Black band playing. So I hope that was a quick enough explanation. Let me know if I
didn't actually catch that till you explained it just now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So it's all different perspective. We're seeing all this. It's like,
but
I love that it's there.
Because seriously, like I didn't even know it was a historically black college band.
Well, they don't say it, but you can kind of just tell. Marching bands, there's a difference between a white marching band and a Black marching band. It's night and day. Two totally different things. And when he went on that football field, you knew what was up. It's like, oh. Mm-hmm. It's that kind of band.
Yeah.
All right.
Kartik Sharma chimed in. He says, I have a question. You can skip it if it appears offensive. How come Black and white American actors have different accents, but Black and white British actors sound the same? Is it just in films?
Okay.
I think that it depends on you can speak to this better than I can.
Well,
in England, like you have people that come from certain areas and they have their own accent.
Yeah,
you're talking about where did the Southern accent come from?
Yeah, it definitely in the UK, when you're doing a lot of film and television, like actors go through a lot of training, and there is like a standard accent that you do, which you can do. But then I have a lot of friends from all different parts of London and the UK, and even just within London itself, people have different accents and ways of speaking. But I feel like maybe it's the shows that you're watching, because I feel like that is also represented in a lot of British shows.
Attack the Block.
Yeah, and stuff.
I was gonna say, they do it to John Boyega all the time. My guy's got a Nigerian accent. Like he's British, but he's also got the Nigerian in him.
Yeah.
But when you're in these movies, they don't let you talk like that.
No.
Trust that there's a huge Jamaican culture there, Caribbean. Yeah. There's different types there. It's just the media that you consume ain't showing them others do.
I think there's some overlap though. I'm trying to figure out how to articulate this before it comes out sounding completely foolish. I think there's some words or sounds that people associate with Ebonics or Black speak, which is just Southern speak. Also. Like, because there's certain words. There's certain words that I think that white people say as well in the South or on the East Coast that people associate with Black people saying it. I'm like, no, a lot of people actually say this. Am I wrong?
But where did it come from?
I have no idea. I hear Bill Burr saying, "Can you do me a solid?" And I'm like, oh, maybe that's just like a East Coast Baltimore or not Baltimore, Boston kind of thing. Maybe that's a word that a lot of people say out there, and I'm ignorant thinking that a certain group of people are the ones that predominantly say that word or phrase.
Well, it goes back to the whole monolith thing. Like, people think Black people are just this one thing.
Yeah.
And especially when it comes to language and communication, different dialects. I mean, there's different dialects within just Southern communities by itself. There's different dialects of Southern speak. People from Baltimore sound different from people in New York.
Right.
People in Miami, Black folks in Miami might sound a little bit different than Black people in Panama City, Florida, because of the amount of Cubans that are in Miami. It's like different things and cultures add different tinges to the accent. People in California sound totally different. So it's a lot of different nuances within the language of our culture. So we don't sound nothing alike at all. Yeah. But TV will have you thinking we absolutely do. We're just this one thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
go ahead.
Go ahead, man.
Go ahead. I was gonna say, like you were saying about like, you know, Ebonics, or like now it's called like African American Vernacular English, or AAVE, is like it comes from West African language and English based Creole and stuff like you can't ignore that part of it. Like the language of the South has like a history tied to Black people in a way that's just like, you know, it traveled as the Civil War ended, and as we migrated more and more north, and like it spread, we came up with these different ones, but it always comes back to the motherland.
Comes back to the source.
Just saying.
Julian,
Creole for me though definitely feels like the one through line that like you can probably tie a lot of stuff back to.
Julian T says, from England here, white and Black people do not sound the same in movies. Think Gandalf compared to Idris Elba, totally different.
I mean, it's true. I mean, like certain things will come through, I think, but there is definitely. I went through drama school training, and it was very much like, this is how you're supposed to talk. They train it out of you, but meanwhile you're also doing other dialects and accents, and a lot of the time it's like, okay, well, maybe in this role you can just use your normal voice.
I think also though there's the ignorant thing, which is like, if you don't live in England, it all sounds similar to you.
Sure.
It all sounds like the same sound to you. And the new, like, I remember watching a YouTuber from England, and you're like, oh, he must be from this particular region because of his. I couldn't tell listening to it.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
there's also a lot of code switching that goes on. And code switching happens even in England. I mean, in case you don't know, code switching is when you speak one way around one group of people and then speak a totally different way around another group of people. And it's a survival technique for a lot of Black Americans, because you have to be able to speak one way to your boss, and then you're going to speak a lot differently to your homie that lives like right around the corner. So you have to know how to juggle it. And just like African Americans here, Black people in England have to code switch as well. So what you're hearing on TV may be their code switch voice, and it may sound totally different. When John Boyega's kicking it with his family, he probably sounds a lot different than he did in that BBC interview.
Yeah,
so
no, for sure.
That's just a real thing.
Like one of my good friends, he's Black of Jamaican descent, and like when I hang out with him and it's us and our predominantly white friends, he speaks one way, but when he's hanging out with his family or with his Black friends, then all of a sudden I'm like, ooh, this is so interesting, like you sound like a completely different person, and I'm learning so much about you. This is awesome. Like, I love it.
It's just like you said, it's like this defense mechanism and way of survival, and it's just like, it sucks, you know. You shouldn't need permission to be yourself or to speak the way you are.
Well, that's what I like about Ryan Coogler. He's unabashedly himself. He doesn't do code switching. He's just himself.
Yeah. And Antoine and I, when we heard him speak for the first time, like we knew of him, but when we heard him speak, it was like, oh, they let him make like that.
Random Videos says, oh yes, it's my boy Syntell. I manifested this last night, but missed the whole thing. Just woke up. Why there are so serious topics? Did something happen? I think it's inherent.
Yes, it did.
I think it's inherent. It's inherent.
Episode 5, man.
Yeah, it's inherent.
Go catch up, baby. Yeah. Go catch up and then watch it again. I promise you're going to get enlightened to some stuff, man. You're going to be all good.
Yeah.
Trevor Denley says, what do you guys think is next for Zemo? I was actually curious to talk about him a little bit too, because he had that hood thing he wore, the mask, and that just showed up and went away real fast. And I'm like, is he even going to be in the next episode? Like, he's off to jail, is what it looks like Wakandan jail.
Yeah.
So
he's escaping.
He's going to the raft. She said that we're going to take him to the raft, which is where they put everyone at the end of Civil War.
Yeah. That's right.
In the middle of the ocean, that like super lockdown.
Someone was saying in the chat, like, do you think he just got, caught on purpose?
Yeah.
Because he's got like some.
That's what he did in Civil War. That's what he did in Civil War.
I think so, but I think it's because he didn't have an end game. Because you sort of forget, and again, everything ties back to Civil War and Winter Soldier. But he was a normal guy who just lost his family.
Yeah.
Like he's been out to stop supremacy. Did he kill King T'Chaka? Yes, he did. He did. He was out to do the right thing, with the wrong, actions.
Yeah.
And so like, I sort of feel like Baron Zemo never really, he didn't have plans. He was not trying to dominate anything. He was trying to break up the Avengers. He did it. So yeah, I don't know if we really need him. I think he was more of a means. But he seems more than happy to pay penance for what he did. So
Deban Dutt says, "Hey peeps, hey Syntell, hey sorry, don't know your name."
That's Rat 2.0.
Rod 2.0.
Raw 2.0 with the banana. I'm just trying to like sneak. How do I get this?
What are y'all
Don't
predictions?
eat the banana on the screen.
What are y'all predictions for the last episode?
I know. Do you think another superhero is going to show up, or is this going to be like too big a thing? It'll take away from that.
I think it'll take away from it. I think the whole thing is Sam being whatever that is, the Wakandan armor, whatever that is.
The new Captain America outfit.
It is.
I bet you it'll work like his necklace, and it'll be a thing that he can just materialize now.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, because it's kind of small and it's going to materialize everything. I'm feeling you on that. Yeah. I mean, it's Wakanda. They got to come correct. They got to come correct. It's Wakanda.
Does it come in black?
The interesting thing is, oh God, I just had a brain fart. Hold on.
What?
Give me a second. It just went away. Never mind. That's what it was. Okay, so I was concerned about like how Sam, he's not a super soldier, right? He doesn't have the super serum and whatnot. And someone in the comments was like, well, he's got this outfit now. It might make him more powerful, you know?
Right.
So I'm like, go ahead.
I'm curious of what the texture of that armor, or I'm guessing it's going to be a type of armor. I mean, maybe something in the realms, maybe not exactly like T'Challa's armor, but something a close variant is what I'm hoping. Because
less American, I feel.
Yeah.
I'll be curious to see who designed it too. Like did they bring Ruth Carter in? Did she do this one too? Because that would be something.
That was fast. That was a fast turnaround. Wherever it came from, that box showed up quick.
Yeah.
I asked him for a favor. When did he ask for this favor? When did he call him this favor? Because it wasn't at the beginning of the show.
He
says to her when they're leaving. He's
Zemo.
like, one more. He's like, I may have a favor to ask. When they take Zemo.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. That was quick. That box showed up like the next day.
Hey.
It's Wakanda.
Is that Wakanda?
They got prime shipping.
They got some excellent 3D printing going on. So.
They got a vibranium train. You can do anything.
Yeah, that's true. I was just checking the comments to see if there's. Okay, we didn't finish talking about what's going to happen in the next episode. You asked if a superhero is going to show up. I don't think any new superheroes are going to show up. I think they've set the stage.
But we're near New York now. It's Marvel. Can they?
Yeah, it's the mouse, man. We're talking about the mouse, and the mouse is about profit. So don't get it twisted. This is a good show, but they got to set. They got to set up the next thing. So I would expect to see a big reveal.
They're gonna Luke Skywalker this.
That's what I'm saying. It's gonna be something.
Take away all the glory from Sam and his Wakandan Captain America outfit. That would be upsetting. I think that'd be upsetting. I was just as mad at the end of Mandalorian.
It might just be like a moment that happens, It might not. They might just be in there to help in this brawl between Carly and the Flag Smashers and Batroc. Cap is in the back eating popcorn.
That's not how I would have done it.
They all get shawarma afterwards.
Fucking up, young man.
They all get shawarma after the fight is done.
Oh yeah.
Like the end of what's it called? Avengers.
Avengers, yeah.
So all right, and so is you said Carly's gonna die?
I think she is.
Okay.
I don't think she makes it. She's too innocent. You gotta kill innocence.
You gotta kill innocence.
I would have said no, but then there was that episode when we get up in it and we think, oh, it's a Disney show, so there's certain things they won't do, like kill a kid, but like they had Zemo shoot her up. So she could die now. Zemo shot her. Yeah, she could die now.
Yeah, but she put a bandage on. She's fine.
She walked that off like a champ. Yeah. I was like, damn, that serum is no joke.
Yeah. do some dirt on it and move on.
Merely a flesh wound.
Yeah. Devon John.
I don't think John Walker will die either.
No, he's got.
I don't think he is either.
Home Depot America is gonna make his way through that show. Devon John Dutt says, "Hey, Raw 2.0." So he's just super chatting. Hello.
Doing,
Ron Burgundy made an interesting point though, because he says, "Why was Walker killing one terrorist such a big deal, but Falcon killing 7 to 8 in the first episode
Because that's off camera. It's optics. It's all optics.
Yeah.
That's what it comes down to. Is it's all optics. It's like what you see. The thing about it is those guys. It's almost like what she said. Like you did what they wanted you to do. It's just that the way you did it was kind of stupid.
Yeah.
You did it in front of everybody.
Like we said last week. Never forget, T'Challa was about to body claw. Like he was about to give him that work until the Dora Milan was like, "Yo, cameras, chill out.
Yeah.
You can't do that." In front of everybody. And I'm sure had there been no cameras, they'd gone and thrown them in that quick casket and been done with it.
I'm gonna wrap this up unless there's anything else you guys want to talk about before I end this.
Just the fact that it's been a joy, man. Thank you, Ron. Appreciate you coming in.
Yeah.
Beautiful thing. And I'm just happy to be a part of the process, man. I'm just happy to be in the room, man, my guys. So thank you. Thank you all.
So y'all who are watching, Achara's going to add Syntell and Raw 2.0's handles. Where do you want people to follow? You got so many goddamn handles. None of which are following you, by the way. Raw 2.0.
What? Oh, no. Yeah. Get him.
They're all the same. Escape from post.
Yeah.
Escape from post?
None of whom are following me back. So... escape from post.
I keep it on the move.
Like 1 minute is there, I'm like, I'm gonna follow him. I want to support him, and then it's gone.
You never know when I'm gonna delete my account.
Yeah, it's just like a ninja just disappears into the night, like Hannibal Lecter. I'm like, what the fuck? Where'd he go? So, but anyway, follow Raw 2.0. It's at Escape from Post on the internet's there, and Syntell is simply Syntell. On the Instagrams and whatnot. Make sure to follow them, you guys.
On the Twitter.
And hopefully we'll have you both back next Saturday.
Yeah, this was fun.
Hey, man.
Yeah.
Hey, mate.
I had such a good time.
Yeah.
Wrap it up.
So, all right, let me...
Can you believe this is happening on a Marvel show?
All right, y'all. Peace out.
Peace out.
I'll let y'all.